Guys, it's Brian with Turp Mechanic. Today I've got my Kentucky Bluegrass here on the sideline. I'm going to run the Dethatcher over it. This Kentucky Bluegrass has been scalped, and I don't know, it's not exactly a full scalp, but over the course of the last 3 months, over the course of the summer, this grass has been maintained around 2¼ inches tall, the fourth notch on my lawnmower. Yesterday I brought it down to the second notch on the lawnmower, which is about 1.6 inches. So my neighbor comes in, I'm going to keep talking here. So the height really doesn't matter. Your height might be taller, your height might be shorter. The problem here, or not the problem, the important part here is I have brought the height of cut down from what the grass is used to. So anytime you're going to use a dethatching unit or a scarifier on the lawn, it's best to really cut it low. So I don't intend on maintaining it this high. I cut it down this high so that I can basically do a factory reset, and the dethatching is part of that factory reset process. This Kentucky Bluegrass has gotten very dense, and I do have some Bermuda grass that is still in the lawn that I'm trying to eradicate, and the Bermuda grass grows really low, so when you're trying to spray herbicides on the lawn to kill the Bermuda grass, it kind of helps to cut a lot of that Kentucky Bluegrass off so that the herbicide can actually get to the Bermuda grass. But anyway, that's just a personal problem. All of this Kentucky Bluegrass that you see here and throughout this entire side lawn was grown from seed. This is Midnight Kentucky Bluegrass variety. As you can see up close, there is some brown in there, so some shedding that has not broken down. That's the kind of stuff that we're thinning out with the dethatcher or the scarifying device, whichever machine that you're using. As you get some of this brown out, it leaves more green behind, making the lawn look more vibrant, more healthy, and it just allows better airflow. And as this stuff breaks down, like the brown stuff, you're going to have less disease pressure on your actively growing grass. Although Kentucky Bluegrass, it's very healthy to do a dethatching or scarifying session on Kentucky Bluegrass once or twice a year. I don't recommend doing it on Kentucky Bluegrass that is less than 2 years old, and that's why I've waited 2 full years for me to do this first session. No joke, it has been 24 months and I've never run the dethatcher. I'm going to be using these hard tine blades, and it will pull up some material, but because the grass is relatively young, I don't expect it to pull up a whole lot, just enough to make a difference. If you're running a dethatching or scarifying machine over a newly seeded Kentucky Bluegrass lawn, then you're probably going to be uprooting more good grass than you're going to be removing dead grass or thatch. Kentucky Bluegrass really takes a long time to fully establish, fully mature, and that's why we wait at least a couple years before we start doing it. If you have old growth Kentucky Bluegrass and you've never run a dethatcher or a scarifier over it, then absolutely it's a great time to do it in the month of September, the earliest parts of fall, and if you're watching this at a different time of the year, early spring, so kind of around that April 15th time frame. What I do want to talk to you about is how often you should be dethatching or scarifying your Kentucky Bluegrass lawn, and how soon after you put Kentucky Bluegrass seed down. So for me, I put this seed down 25 months ago, 24 months ago, something like that. I put it down somewhere around August 1st, 2023. And then I had to do a repair in September of 2020, 23, 2020. There's a lot of 20s, 23. So it's 2 years old. I have never dethatched this, even though I say on this channel, and I've got multiple videos about dethatching. I've got blog posts over on the Turp Mechanic website about how Kentucky Bluegrass lawns and other cool season lawns benefit from getting the thatch out, from doing a scarifying session. The point here is the thatch tines on the bottom of your machine, or the scarifying blades on the bottom of your machine. They are pulling dead debris out of the lawn, opening up more airflow to the soil itself. So thin out the top. That's what I'm going to be doing. using the dethatcher. Then I'm going to be fertilizing and applying the products of choice. There's many different kinds of things that you could put down to stimulate more root mass and more root development. I'm not going to go into what I'm doing because it doesn't apply to everybody, and it's just what I happen to have in the garage. I've got other content on this channel and over on the website where I discuss all of the various options. So if you're interested, take a look at that. And that's just one pass. So I'm gonna clean up a lot of this, and then I'm gonna do a second pass over it. But I don't want to do like 2, 3, or I don't want to do like 3, 4, 5 or anything like that. Like, I'm not trying to destroy the lawn. I'm just trying to thin it and pull out the dead debris. If there's too much dead debris, then the machine can only pick up so much all at once. So this is what we picked up on the first pass. Every subsequent pass, it will still pick up some, just not quite as much. And at some point, you just gotta use your mind and say, you know, that's enough. So I'm gonna clean this up and just do it one more time. But it's also thinning the grass out, which is a crazy thought when most people on the planet or in your neighborhood are interested in thickening their lawn up. Once your lawn is actually great, then you start moving into new territory. You gotta thin it to keep it healthy. It's kind of like bushes. Every now and then you gotta go in there and thin the bush out. You gotta prune it. If we don't go thin out our thick lawns every now and then it's harder for airflow to go through. We're gonna have more disease pressure. It's harder to get water to the soil. It's harder to get fertilizer down into the root zone. It just benefits greatly from getting thinned out periodically. Now, side benefit for me is as I thin this out, it's going to open up or expose some of the unwanted Bermuda grass that I have growing down under the canopy, lower next to the soil level. It's going to make it easier for me to kill that sort of stuff off. Also, once it's thinner, then it's going to be easier for me to fertilize and get that fertilizer to be used by the grass as quickly and efficiently as possible. During the early parts of fall and also the early parts of spring, these are the times of year that cool season grasses like Kentucky bluegrass want to put on the most root growth. So when I fertilize, it's going to start pushing new growth. I'm also going to be putting down some root growth stimulant onto the lawn. I do have content available, which I'll link to down in the description below, about how we push more root growth or the most dense root mass. Like, I want the top of the lawn to look good, but truly, if everything underneath, the part that you don't see, the root mass that's underground, if that is dense and healthy, then everything above the ground is going to perform as good as you could imagine. I'll leave you with some close-up shots here of the before and after. Since I did scalp it, you can see it's kind of got this kind of brownish grayish tinge to it, and that's just because we're seeing more stems and frayed leaves, areas of the grass that don't normally see the light of day or get cut. We're also seeing some of the Bermuda grass, which I have sprayed down with Pylex about 12 days ago, going white. In another 10 days or so, I get to do my second application of Pylex to kill off as much Bermuda grass as possible. And that's that. That didn't take all that long. Even with filming, it took me about, 30 minutes or so. As you can see, the grass looks really stinking good now. Did not destroy anything. Ignore this. This is for another video, like I've been leaving it there. So subscribers will eventually see that. But yeah, you can see it still looks dense. You don't see a lot of brown. There's still a little bit here that the mower could pick up. I might run over it again, second pass with the mower to use it like a vacuum. But everything looks great. Over the course of the fall, this is my weak spot. I want to develop that, get that looking its best, and then do some planter stuff here in this bed. That'll come later. But anyone who was walking by yesterday would have thought the lawn looked pretty good, but all of this garbage was in it. Can you imagine taking this gigantic pile of stuff and just putting it on your lawn? If you've got Kentucky bluegrass or a mixture of bluegrass and rye and fescue, and you've never done this before, there is so much debris making your lawn choking it. I mean, it's basically choking it. So thinning it out is useful. This machine that I'm using is discontinued. They don't even sell it anymore. I'll link to the one that I would buy if I needed to replace this today. I'll link to that down in the description below. So this is essentially a fall renovation on a lawn that looks pretty good, but I want to set it up to have the best fall possible. And where I live, this lawn is going to be green and growing and looking like awesome all the way through the winter. So that's just where I live. If you got any questions about dethatching, about the process, or about, I don't know, the order that you do things, what products you might use, go ahead and drop them in the comments below. But up here in the corner, I'm going to link to my master video all about like everything you could possibly think about dethatching, scarifying the lawn, why we do it, when we do it, all the frequently asked questions, along with all the footage that I've compiled over the years doing it to my own lawn. Take a look at that next.